Get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, good morning. Oh, my camera's got me a little short today. I don't know what's up with that. There we go. I didn't adjust much. There we go. That's a little bit better. Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. Or a little bit spicy. We'll get to them in just a second. One of them is going to be about the $38 trillion debt that we just hit in the U.S. And then the other one's going to be about a news article I saw coming out of Australia talking a little bit about the new economic framework around the world. We will get to those after we get you prepped for some success today. You know what I got pulled up in the background. It is that stock heat map. So let's get that pulled up and dive on in. As you can see, we've got some nice green bubbles on the crypto side of things, but we've got a bit of a mixed bag on the stock side of things. We've got Apple sitting up 0.33%. Nvidia was sitting in the red this month. It was sitting in the red. It was sitting in the green very briefly when I just took a look at it, and we're back to the red. We're sitting down 0.07% right now. We've got Berkshire Hathaway down 0.06. We've got Amazon up 0.45. We've got Eli Lilly down 0.73. ExxonMobil up 1.81. We've got Tesla down 3.34 this morning. P&G sitting a little bit neutral, up 0.09. We've got Microsoft up 0.24. We've got Google up 0.46. And we've got Meta down 0.36. It was a whole lot closer to neutral just a little while ago, but definitely seeing a little bit of sell-off now. We've got the crypto side of things, on the other hand, like I said, with some nice green bubbles here. We got hype up over double digits right now. This is kind of what we've been waiting for. We will see if we can get a little continuation. We are at some key levels on Bitcoin, and we'll see if we can turn those back into some support and then make our way back to a level I called out at the beginning of the week. As you can see here, this daily looking nice and green. We are continuing to see a little bit of green on the hourly as well, except for Tron. So we've got Bitcoin up 1.5, Ethereum up 1.2, we've got BNB up 3.8 this morning, we've got XRP up 1.3, Solana up 2.8, we've got Tron up 0.4%, we've got Doge up 2.7, we've got Cardano up 1.4, and we've got Chainlink down 0.1%. Kind of funny. We just heard a new call out on that Chainlink price, and a video will be dropping on that on my channel here soon. So keep your eye out for that one. We've got Hyperliquid up 11.9%, taking a spot in the market cap from Stellar Lumens, while Stellar Lumens is sitting up 1.6%, Bitcoin Cash up 2.7%, Sweet up 2.3%. We've got Avalanche up 0.8%, Leo token holding steady up 0.1%. We've got HBAR up 0.7%, and Litecoin sitting up 2%. Our fear and greed's still sitting in the fear on the stock side. Not too unexpected. We haven't been seeing any strong moves towards the upside, and there's been quite the shakeout with news this way and news that way. Are we getting a tariff? Are we not getting a tariff? While scrambling to make some deals in the background. Crypto side of things, still sitting in fear as well, up 2 points from extreme fear though. So we'll have to see what is going on when we get to these key levels, because we do have liquidity directly towards the upside. As you can see, it's sitting at 110,900, almost 111,000. 1,000. BC drop an AI link price prediction diss track instead. Actually, that sounds kind of fire, DDT. I might have to do that instead. As well as the short. I have one more short video that I got to do on my channel to be approved to monetize. So I figured I can just do that as well. So we will get both of those. But that does sound a whole lot more fun. I write some lyrics and the AI puts it into some songs. So it does a really good job at it. Sometimes you can almost tell that it's not AI, and then other times you're like, well, that just sounds like a computer talking right now. But it's gotten a whole lot better than it used to be. We've also got liquidity towards the downside here. This is right at some key levels I've called out before, that 106,400 to 106,100 here. That is a level I have marked out on my chart. That is an area we could definitely come back down to if we can't get above a key level towards the upside and at least maintain one of the levels we will talk about in just a second here. On this 3-day, you can definitely see where that liquidity is, and it is directly towards the upside here. We do need to reclaim a key area first. We'll call that out in just a second, but the hot spot up here is 114,600. Nice little hot spot with about $100 million in it. So definitely a nice area to come up to if we can turn an area back into some support. Let's hop on over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to the people in the chat. Let me get that zoomed on out to the daily as well. There we go. Definitely seeing a little bit of some bounce in action, but not a whole lot, as there is a whole lot of selling. Let's see who we got in the chat this morning. We got Chris Wrights first in here. Good morning, good morning. We got Async joining the alumni. Make sure to join your YouTube to the Discord so you can get access to the Piper Academy Discord. We've got Robert Mulligan in here. We got Alexandra G, the mod queen. She said, have a good day, and she'll be listening in because she's getting ready. We've got Curtis Hill in here. Good morning, sir. We got Crypto Billy as well. Good morning, good morning. Let's see who else we got. We got Deborah Saramento. Good morning, good morning. We've got Jay in here as well. Glad to see you here this morning. Let's see, we got Jessica Luck in the chat. Good morning, good morning. We got DDT as well. Good morning, sir. Hope you're having a great day. We got Donato Cabrera in the house. Good morning, good morning. Let's see, we got anyone else? Nope, we got a few viewers over on X as well. Glad to see you guys over there. And if you got any alt requests or any stock requests, go ahead and throw those out now. We'll get to those after we dive into some news this morning. We are seeing a little bit of a move towards the upside, directly back towards a Fibonacci extension level we had called out the other day. And that was $110,000. We did see a little bit of some selling pressure stepping on in at that point, but it has given you a little bit more curvature towards the upside on our oscillators here. You can see nice higher low here. We definitely still could wick, get down here and candlestick the wick that we made. But we're starting to see just a little bit of momentum towards the upside. MACD's got that curvature. Prime oscillator finally getting a little bit of curvature towards the upside. And we're just waiting on our money flow here. It is barely in the green, and we really need to start seeing that buying pressure hold steady. We do have this range directly below us at 108,200. We would need to hold that if we continue to see a little bit of sell-off here. Let's get that zoomed on in. Take a look at that 1 hour, because we do have some levels directly towards the upside here. Let me get my kill zones hidden there, because it's putting more on the chart that doesn't need to be. There we go. Let's get this zoomed on in here. We are directly below our fib level here. We've rejected off of it twice this morning. Really waiting to see if we can get above it. We are seeing quite a bit of toppiness here on the hour, but your money flow, the sell-off has slowed up quite a bit here. It does look like we saw our bottoming action down here, and it's been some nice inflows since then. We could still come and retest that 108,200 though. That is an area I would really like to see held as some support. It is from those old all-time highs where we got those very equal candle bodies. We are seeing a reversal signal flash. We are getting that prime oscillator in the red and pointed back towards the downside here. But that one hold up for now is our nice green volume. So definitely looking like we're seeing a little bit of bullishness, but we do need some other factors to come on in and continue that bullish move towards the upside. So to get a little bit of some cool off here on the hour would not be too unexpected. We have a few levels directly towards the downside. One of those coming in at the highs from back here, which is coming in at about $109,000. We do have a little bit of liquidity below that as well. So if we can't hold 108,200, coming back down to this 106,100 is where that bottom side liquidity is. Keep your eye on that if we don't hold this range up here where we're seeing 109 to about 108,200. That is a nice little bouncing area, and we'll have to zoom this on in, see how the morning's looking like with that 15-minute chart here. As you can see, we're starting to make some lower highs and some lower lows here, but your money flow looking quite nice. It is continuing on with some buying pressure here, and we are trying to cool those oscillators off with at least maintaining the highs from back here. That was that 109 that we called out. We are starting to see a little bit of a slow up on the downside movements on those lower lows, and could definitely see that bouncing up here and in the morning at about $109,000. As you can see, that 15-minute prime oscillator is nice and cooled off, still has a little bit more cool off to go to really start seeing that first reversal signal flashing. As this volume has slowed up just a little bit, it has come with an increase of buying pressure here. So really looking for that bounce towards the upside that gets us above $110,000. Really is going to depend on how this money flow here on the 15-minute goes into that hourly. If we do continue to see some light sell off here, could definitely get that hourly to roll over just a little bit more and get us down to that 108,200 I called out on the hourly. So a few little bouncing levels towards the downside, but we've got some nice areas towards the upside to keep our eye on if we can get back above $110,000. A key level I really want to turn back into some support to continue with a bullish move towards the upside is going to be that 111,800. I've called it out time and time again. If we reclaim that, we can really continue towards the upside with some strength. Definitely need to reclaim that first before I have any semblance of bullishness. Until then, more so just looking for some consolidations. This is a nice bit of consolidation. As you can see here, we have been holding between this range quite nicely. It has cooled off those higher term time frame oscillators, and we're really waiting to see if we can get above that to continue back towards some higher levels. All right, let's get on over to our news articles. I see a username in the chat this morning. Good morning to you. A comment about the beard. Look at that beard. Hashtag one beard in the game. I appreciate that username. It is one of my better features. I will own that. That is why the beard will always be here, and I will never get rid of it. I've had a few people tell me to shave the beard because it's crazy, but never. It is here to stay. It's more work to maintain not having a beard than it is to just let the beard be. So this is that first big news article I had for today, and I'm sure a lot of people talked about it at the end of the day, that U.S. national debt surpassing $38 trillion. And that figure amounts to roughly $111,000 of debt for every person in the United States. Scrolling on down here, getting to the meat and the potatoes, the United States national debt has topped 38 trillion as the gap between government spending and revenues in the world's largest economy expands at a rapid pace. The U.S. Department of the Treasury, including the staggering figure in its latest report on the nation's finances, with the debt standing at 38 trillion $19,813 as of Tuesday. The figure amounts to roughly $111,000 of debt for every person in the U.S. and is the equivalent to the value of the economies of China, India, Japan, Germany, and the United Kingdom combined, according to the Peter G. Peterson Foundation, a Washington, D.C. based think tank. The milestone comes a little over 2 months after the debt in the U.S. surpassed 37 trillion in mid-August. The debt stood at 36 trillion in November of 2024 and 35 trillion that July. So it looks like that race to 40 trillion is increasing quite rapidly. It used to be every 100 days we'd have a new $1 trillion on the debt, and looks like we beat that. We got it done in about 2 months, and that's not a figure you really want to brag on. So if we ran at those, we'd have terrible credit scores, and that's why the U.S. has been getting a little bit of a downgrade from the credit ratings. We're definitely at a point where you could start seeing that next downgrade. I would wait to see us get a little bit higher there. We are at 123% debt to GDP, and it's not sustainable, and we've got to do a little something there. Let's break down this other news article though, because this was a biggie that I saw coming out of Australia. It's talking about making sense of the new economic era, because since COVID, we have been seeing quite the change on the global stage. Getting on in here, we've got a few things to really go over. It highlights a few of the areas that this article talks about: the geopolitical scene, the net zero scene, technology, AI growth, and the demographics. So, the new game in town, we have entered a new economic era, one with the rules that are very different from the last. Things that have been disdained in recent decades are back on the table, including conflict, sanctions, industry policy, tariffs, and restrictions on investment and exports. This is a deep structural change, not a temporary Trump phenomenon, as some would like to think. Markets still appear to be underestimating the depth of the change and the likelihood of further shocks. Much of the market volatility we've seen in 2025 can be traced back to these underlying forces in Chart 1. The U.S.-China frictions are a case in point. China and the U.S. aren't negotiating a typical trade deal. They are flexing their economic and strategic muscle as part of a contest for long-term supremacy. And as you can kind of see here, that world trade uncertainty dropping back down, while world economic policy uncertainty is kind of holding steady. It has been on a bit of a rise as we've been seeing the diminishing dollar not really holding up that backbone of the world economy as it used to, and that's why we're at that key point. We're almost at that 50% level for the dollar being the reserve currency. And this really allows for a country like China to start flexing its muscles here and try to take a little bit of that limelight away. That is why you saw BRICS really actually having a worrisome impact in some ways. It highlights the weakness of the dollar. Not that BRICS really would have been the biggest competitor as those countries started eating each other almost immediately, but it does highlight on the global stage that there is room for another player in town. The party is over and back to reality. Geopolitics is the main driver of the new economic era. We've seen a fundamental breakdown of trust between the major countries of the world. The last economic era was underpinned by a high degree of geopolitical stability and trust between the key players. The stability paved the way for a rapid increase in trade, more integrated supply chains, and adoption of just-in-time operations, deregulation, and financial liberalization. Cross-border capital flows jumped sharply, manufacturing was outsourced to developing countries, boosting services, and countries spent less on defense, freeing up resources for other national priorities. As you can see, military spending as a percent of GDP was on the decline. We're kind of at a point where you're starting to see a little bit of curvature back towards the upside, though. You got our nice little double bottoming here, and we'll have to see where we go from there. A lot of these other countries in that same little double bottoming, but they started to make a little bit of an increase before we did. So we're not the only ones that are kind of seeing a little bit of iffiness on the global stage here. And that U.S. GDP growth kind of stagnating just a little bit. We do have these little fluctuations towards the upside, but this is that area that we're kind of waiting to see if we can hold here, because we can't break above that 5% and really hold it with any semblance of strength. And you might not necessarily want to. We saw what happened in some other countries. When that happened, you do see those nice, strong upswings. But on the opposite side, anything that grows with some strength is bound to slow down with that equal strength. So world trade to GDP also kind of stagnating just a little bit here. That was an era where investors and business leaders cut their teeth in. Today, the world looks very different. Trust has been eroded. We face a multipolar world order with the two largest countries in the world in open strategic competition. There is a war in Europe and a growing threat of conflict in the South China Sea. Economic institutions have become battlegrounds for influence, and trade is being weaponized. Assumptions that China would continue pursuing economic reform as it's become more integrated into the global economy proved naive. Instead, China has adopted a more assertive posture, seeking to dominate strategic sectors, using economic correction to achieve its political aims, and openly fostering closer ties with Russia, Iran, and North Korea. COVID showed that the critical supply chains were more fragile than countries had realized. It also confirmed that when the chips are down, countries look after themselves first. Russia's invasion of Ukraine hammered home the point, shifting European attitudes overnight as their reliance on gas was exposed and their threat of conflict became real. And we will kind of watch all of these as they unfold. There is going to continue to be news out of this. And, the U.S. kind of tried to partner with Ukraine to get some of those precious earth metals. And for the meantime, it looks like we're going to be a little more hands off on it, as we just made that deal with Australia that I called out yesterday. This contested geopolitical landscape is driving major changes in the global economy. Globalization has stalled. A massive defense uplift is underway, and there is rapid and costly push to rebuild sovereign manufacturing capabilities in advanced countries. But that is not the end of the story. Importantly, this change comes just as the global economy is facing three other historic transitions. And as you can see here, capex to meet net zero by 2050, and you're seeing a lot of change in that as well. Fossil fuels on the decline. I've been calling out nuclear for quite a while, and it has been a growing sector. And you're also seeing electricity and system and electrification kind of staying steady here. So definitely looking like we're going to need a little bit of some new power here. You're also seeing that population decrease. It touches on that, but the other big one I really wanted to touch on was that AI and technology wave here. Another major transition is the new wave of technology sweeping through the global economy, led by AI and machine learning. This, along with emerging technologies such as quantum computing, robotics, biotech, and genomics, is rapidly changing the business landscape. Classic economic questions are being asked about the impact of this new technology on overall productivity and the risk of mass job displacement in established industries. There is general consensus that AI will deliver a sizable productivity uplift, and it suggests that this could be in the range of 0.4 to 0.9 people per year, depending on adoption rates. Job displacement is harder to measure, and estimates wildly vary. Most job classes will be affected by some way by AI, but suggestion of mass unemployment appear alarmist. In our review, evolution is more likely than revolution, but there is not a lot of water to go under the bridge. The tech revolution is also spilling into the national security realm, impacting other markets such as critical minerals. The US and China are fighting for tech supremacy for both economic and military reasons. This is the driving raft of new tech restrictions and ultimately bifurcate markets for critical hardware and software. The US ban on the sale of connected vehicles that use Chinese components is an example. And we watched that starting under Biden. Trump has really doubled down on that, and it hasn't helped that global stage any. It has forced us to make those new connections, and that's really accelerated that war between us and China. Not a physical war, but a war the likes of which we have never seen before. And we'll have to watch how this all unfolds, because I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon. And I just want to be realistic on that. And the more that we can get back in the U.S., make more negotiations from the tariffs that we've put on the market, could give us a little bit of strength here. We do have a lot of reliance in that tech sector on China, and we're trying to replace that with countries like Australia, Ukraine. We've made deals with India. We've made deals with the EU. We want a little bit more reliance in some other countries, because this article did highlight the supply chain worries that were exposed during COVID. And that is a position we don't want to be in again, especially if China just says, a big F you, and we're not going to give you the goods. So definitely going to be keeping our eye on this one, and we'll talk about it more as it continues. But let's get back over to TradingView. Say good morning to the few other people in the chat. I didn't see any alt requests, but if you guys do have some alt requests, go ahead, throw them out there. I did have a few things to kind of take a look at this morning. We got Solid Corn Mafia in the house. Good morning to you. We got All Set in here as well. Maybe a Band-Aid. Good morning to you. We got Mr. C in here as well. And Al Jr. Good morning. Anyone else in here? Not seeing any anyone else hopping in here, but we can take a look at that. We got Link and Jasmine on those request lists. Let me get Link on there and Jasmine. I did have a quick thing to take a look at before we dive into those alt requests, and that was going to be the dollar. We did call out an area that we wanted to see hold as some support. We've held 97.72 for quite a while, and we're really waiting to see if we can get above this golden pocket. This higher term time frame, really starting to see that move towards the upside here, but we definitely could see that golden pocket one more time coming in as a resistance area. This is our lower side level, and you can kind of see we had a much broader range when we were above the golden pocket here. We have consolidated quite nicely. We have that higher low coming on in, and we really need to break above that golden pocket and then reclaim the highs from back here at about 140 before 100.4 before we can really continue that move towards the upside there, as those highs from back here that came in as some quick sell off. Getting to that daily, you can kind of see the daily here is a little bit toppy. We are seeing that sideways momentum coming on in all over again on both the MACD and that prime oscillator, getting that little bit of an area where we could start seeing that curvature back towards the downside, so that rejection off of the golden pocket could be coming our way all over again. Bonds have been getting bought up, but it hasn't been translating to over some nice strength in the dollar. We are looking like we could curve back down here on that prime oscillator all over again after a rejection off of that golden pocket. So definitely looking like we could continue to see a little bit of a downside move off of that golden pocket one more time. Does lead to some longer term consolidations here. You can see that hourly is also extremely toppy. We have been getting higher lows coming on in, but we have yet to make a higher high. We might need just a little more strength there if we really want to break above that golden pocket. You can kind of see we're starting to stagnate just a little bit as we get closer to the golden pocket. So dollar at a weird level here, but we do have very strong support directly below us at 96.375. So if we do break below, we do break to the downside off of that golden pocket, that first area I'm really looking to hold is going to be 97.71, and if we don't hold that, coming all the way back down to our strong support at 96.36. That'll give your assets a little bit of a move towards the upside there, so definitely keep your eyes on that one. We did have a few alt request. Let's get into that. We had Link and Jasmine. If we got any other ones to take a look at, go ahead, throw them out in the chat, and we'll get to that in just a second. Let me hide those. Got market cap, Bitcoin. There we go. Link sitting down here below that 50% line. We did not reclaim 1852 and hold it. That was a level I was watching for. We got this daily time frame looking a little bit iffy as well. We've got another lower high, not really holding the lows very well either. We got Floki on that list as well. We can take a look at that. All right, that'll probably be all we have time for this morning. We got Mortimer Duke in the house. Good morning, good morning. And we've got Frank in the house as well. How about the price of cocoa? He maybe something to buy in while gold is falling. Yeah, that was actually a big rotation last time when gold was looking a little bit iffy. But I don't think we're seeing some of the same demand in cocoa that we were last time. I'd have to dive more into that one. But Link, on the higher term time frame, it is trying to hold the lows from back here. You can kind of see that's coming in at about $16.65. We do have a little bit of equal candle bodies down here, a little bit lower. That is $16.58. So a little bit of a zone directly towards the downside would allow us for a little more cool off here. MACD looking a little bit nice. Prime oscillator does need a little bit of money flow to come on in to get you that curvature back towards the upside here. It is stagnating just a little bit here. We do have that true 7 that is clipped out, but it could clip out one more time before we really get that push back towards the upside there. We do have that 50% line, which is going to be a little bit of a resistance area to keep your eye on. We will get rid of that one and find a new short-term time frame level to kind of keep our eye on. We did get that nice little bounce off of $16.81, very, very close to that level from back here, $16.74. That was that area to kind of keep your eye on, and we'll see what that hourly is looking like, because that daily does need a little bit of money flow to get that move back towards the upside. And that 50% line is going to be that key area to really reclaim here. You can see this hourly also looking a little bit iffy. We've got that sideways momentum coming on in with that MACD. You've got your prime oscillator pointing back towards the downside here. We did get that nice double clip out on our true 7, and not much movement towards the upside here. As you can see, our real resistance directly above us on the short-term time frame comes in at $17.83 there. Let's get that short-term time frame horizontal ray drawn on out here so you can see as that area to really break above if we want to continue towards the upside there. You can kind of see we got that nice little grab of liquidity from below these lows here at 17.18. Got that nice little bouncing action. We're trying to make a higher low here. Really need to make that higher high, and that's going to be above $17.83 there. And above that, get above that golden pocket and then try to do some battle with these highs from back here at about $19. So few areas towards the upside. You do have some areas to the downside to kind of keep your eye on. That's coming in at about $16.98 there. Let's get that drawn on out. Very, very we got about 3 rejections off of that towards the downside. We did get a little bit of bouncing action off of it here with that liquidity grab towards the downside, but definitely an area of interest if we don't get above $17.83 there. 15-minute and the morning looking a little bit cooled off here, so that's why I was talking about that little upside movement here. We are looking to bounce off of the rejection points from this morning. That was $17.35. That's where we're getting a little bit of bouncing action at this morning. Could lead us to $17.83 before we really start seeing a little bit of some rejection. If you can reclaim that, make our move back above the 50% line would be that move I'd kind of watch for there. That's what I got for Link in the shorter term time frame. Let's take a look at Jasmy, a project I have not looked at in quite some time there. Let's see where I charted it. Is it on Coinbase? It is not on Coinbase, unless I need to zoom out more. Let's see. On the daily time frame, did not chart it on that one. Looks like it's down here. There we go. We did hold some of those key levels after that big market liquidity grab towards the downside. We are holding that 00938 with some strength. Let's get this shorter term time frame deleted. We do have some resistance directly towards the upside to get above on the higher term time frame to try to get back up towards that platinum pocket there. So let's get that horizontal ray drawn on out. You can kind of see that we rejected off of that level actually today. So we got that nice little selling wick from 01135, and we're really waiting to see if we can hold some of the lows from back here. Let's get that drawn out. 01049. So that is that horizontal ray from down here, where you might see a little bit of some bouncing action at. Let's make it a little bit of a shorter term time frame. Let's get that zoomed on in. Daily is looking a little bit nice here for some continuation towards the upside off of that lower bouncing level, as that MACD is getting that break above our indicator line. And that prime oscillator is pointing towards the upside here. Just turned green, so definitely looking like you could continue towards the upside with a little bit of some bouncing at 0.1049. We are seeing a little bit of some toppiness here on the hourly. We will kind of have to see how that 15-minute is looking in just a second, but we're getting that sideways momentum here, a little bit of curvature towards the downside on that prime oscillator. Let's see if the 15-minute can hold us up any here. Nice little bearish divergence, so could definitely continue on some downside down to that 0.104 before you see that little bit of a bouncing action. And if you don't hold it, we've got some levels down here at 0.101 that would be of interest below that. So equal candle bodies down there, that's where we got the rejection. So that's that secondary level towards the downside. If you don't hold 0.104, coming down to 0.101 would be that area I'd kind of watch for Jasmine to see a little bit of some bouncing action. Would give that hourly some cool off, but that 15-minute does look like it's going to cool off here soon with a little more downside action. So looking for a little bit of some bouncing in today before you continue that downside move might be expected. We had Floki requested as well. We got about 3 minutes before we got to wind that showdown. So Floki, quick look at it. Looks like I didn't do it there. I know I've charted Floki before though. Not on that one either. We can do it from a naked chart if we gotta. Let's see. OKX. Nope. Alright, looks like we're going to do it off of a naked chart here. Let's get this zoomed on out to the daily time frame. See what we're looking at for a fib level. We got that nice little move towards the downside here, holding the lows from back here. As you can see, we got that nice little bouncing action off of those equal candle bodies. Let's get the horizontal ray drawn out, make it a little bit thicker because it is a higher term time frame. Lock that there. Oh, lock. There we go. Let's get a fib pulled from our lows to our high. See what we're looking at in the short-term time frame. Rejection off of that platinum pocket there. Really need to get above that if you want to start seeing some strength back in Floki. We are at an interesting level here on the daily. We got that movement back above our indicator line here. We got a little bit of sideways momentum on that prime oscillator, and we would need to see that money flow start coming back in with some strength there. So let's get this zoomed on in, take a look at the hourly, see what we might be looking at. We got a little bit of toppiness here on that hourly. As you can see, we're in a little bit of a downtrend. Could definitely break towards the upside if we see that nice little bouncing area below us. You can see we tried to hold the highs from here. The highs from here might be a little more interesting though if you see a little more curvature on that hourly there. So let's get that other short-term time horizontal ray drawn out. We got that one coming in, and let's get this one drawn a little bit below it. We got those two rejections off of that. So those are those two bouncing areas directly below us. We tried to hold it. Let's see, 4069. That's that first little bouncing area. It is what we just tried to hold. The area directly below that is coming in with 406664. So that's that secondary bouncing level directly towards the downside. We do have our local resistance directly above us as well. If we can get above, let's see, 40745, we can continue towards that platinum pocket and our higher term time frame resistance. So let me get that drawn on out there. That is going to be that area to really get above to continue towards the upside. We did see those rejections off of that area from back here as well. So a little bit of resistance directly above us. We have a few bouncing areas directly towards the downside. 15-minute and the morning looking a little bit cooled off here. So if you can get above this one, you could definitely break towards the upside. First real area I'd kind of keep my eye on towards the upside. 407-844. So let's get that one drawn on out there. See what we're looking like. That's a nice little move towards the upside if you can reclaim our resistance as some support and continue on towards the upside. So those are those levels I've got for Floki. Let's see what happens for the morning, and make sure to tune into the rest of the shows here on the Piper Academy. We've got that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, best place for the breakdown of your macro data. We've also got Trading with OC every single day at 8 p.m. I hope to see y'all in the chats here in about 30 minutes. I'll be lurking because I got to get to work, but Alex O Crypto going live here in 30 minutes. See if we got anything else in the chat before we wind it on down. We got Petko Dimitrov. Good morning, good morning. That sounds Russian. So maybe you're over there on the other side of the world. We've got Mortimer Duke in the house as well. We've got French Toaster, the bravest little toaster in the chat. Good morning to you. Not seeing anyone else. I appreciate all of you for tuning on in. I appreciate all of you viewing on X as well. Until next time, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.
Wake up world, it's a brand new game. Money's not paper, it's code and flame. Microwaves crash, but I ride the tide. Freedom's not free, but I'm buying my pride. The noise is loud, but I've got the key. Stack stats, break chains, live wild and free. Good morning, crypto. The future's on fire. Chasing the edge, climbing higher and higher. Good morning, crypto. The truth's in the chain. Cut through the static, make money in the rain. They're selling fear, I'm buying the dip. Fools hold gold, I'm stacking the script. Talk head spinning, they'll never